Okay, welcome to another Civilization 6 tutorial. In this tutorial, we're going to talk about a very important subject, district planning. And really, when you talk about district planning, you talk about the adjacency bonus that you get for being next to certain tiles, and we'll talk more about that. But the first thing we're going to talk about is and this really involves districts. What is a district? Well, it's a specialty district. You've seen them in the first tutorial if you watch that. You have entertainment centers, theaters, campuses, commercial hubs. Those are all districts. But the most important district early on is your city district. Yes, your city, your settler. When he creates a city, that is treated as a district. So important to know. Now, this is extremely important. When you first place down your settler, you want to make sure you get the +3 housing bonus. If you don't, you could run into some very early housing bonuses that are difficult to overcome. So what you want to do, and by the way, this settler is telling us to, I believe he's telling us, let's see if I can, why is he, okay, hold on. We want to move this guy out of here because I believe, okay, so he's telling us to settle here. Yeah, I figured it was going to be this tile. But nonetheless, what I want to show you is how to use the legend to show where the best tiles are. Now, after you get a lot of experience in this game, you're going to know that being on a river is automatically going to be a good tile. Any tile on water basically is good, but some are treated differently, and that's the important thing I wanted to show you. So if you come down here and you hit lens on the bottom left, and you hit settler, this is designed to show where the best tiles are. And like we talked about, water availability, that's huge. So if we hit settler, you're going to get this legend up here on the right. Red is you can't even put it. You can't even put the settler on red. So and then you'll see no water, the one right above here, no water. You get no bonus. Coastal water, that gives you a +1 housing bonus. That's it. Here's the big one. If you're on freshwater, +3 bonus. Look at that. So things like rivers, stuff like that. This is a lake. That's why this has access to that. And you can see here, if you look at this, all of these tiles are green because they're on this river. So these are all really good spots. So just keep that in mind. If you somehow, that's why I generally don't like to start out with a coastal city, because you only get that +1 bonus. That's why if you can get on a river or a lake, that's really huge. So, yeah, that's why I just wanted to point out first. So let's go ahead and show you that. In fact, no, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to show you no water. What happens if you put your guy down on no water? So let's move him over here. Let's hit the settler thing. Now, let's go to the city details. Let's go to housing. We've only got 3 housing. That you automatically will get 3 housing, but look at that. If we had just started our guy right here on the water, we would have had 6 housing. And like I said, early on, you're going to struggle a little bit for housing as your population grows. So you really want to get that +3 bonus. It's a big deal. Later on, it gets easier with neighborhoods and stuff like that. It makes it a little bit easier to build out your housing, but early on, that's a big deal. So let's go ahead and reload this, and we'll see the difference. Okay, so I reloaded the map, and let's just settle right here. Let's not even take because we know that this is going to be a bright green tile. Actually, let's go back to the lens real quick. Before we do that, hit settler. So again, here's the coastal tiles, and these are not, they're getting a +1 because you're on the ocean, but you're not the full +3 because it's not freshwater. But, eventually there's bonuses, obviously, to being, you do want to have a coastal city, a couple of them, because you need to start a navy. And then, so you're not going to, usually you want to do that with your second and third city. But I definitely, when I first start my capital, I try to get that on one of these bright green tiles. That's what you want to get. All right, so let's go ahead and settle this guy in. We're just going to remove the woods. And if we hit the city details now, I'll show you that. Look at that. 6 housing. We got that +3 bonus. So pay attention to that when you're first starting your city. Ideally, like I said, you want to be either on a freshwater lake or a river. River for sure. I think river is actually the best case scenario because there are other districts that get bonuses for being on the water, and you can see how far that is. We can put a bunch of these districts right up against here. Okay, so all right, so I will we'll talk now more about placement of districts, the adjacency bonus. It's a big deal. Okay, so what we're going to talk about is how adjacent districts and certain other types of structures like mountains and woods can give bonuses to certain districts. Now, the most important ones that I'm worried about are the industrial complex and the commercial hub. Those are the two that I'm thinking about the most because I love to boost production. I love to boost gold as well. So those two I think are the most important. But you can also boost science. You can boost your culture. Now the way you do it, the best way to do it is just to come in here and highlight over the structure that you want to build. So for instance, before you build it, so we go to commercial hub and we look at this and we see, okay, you can see right there, we get a +2 gold from each adjacent river tile for having an adjacent river tile. So if I put it here, I'm going to get +2 gold. I mean, how awesome is that? I want to say that that's really the big ones first you want to think about. Those +2 gold, that is huge. So if you can get those, that's awesome. So you also, like if we go over here and I haven't built my harbor yet. Or no, I did. So I put it over here. So this was actually not good planning. I put my commercial district, I believe, over here. And the harbor's over here. Now, I've got a mod on where I can remove these and rebuild this. This is actually a mod. I actually only put this on for this tutorial. But I'm starting to think maybe this isn't such a bad thing because when you take over certain cities and the AI can just do a horrible job planning sometimes, it's nice to sort of rearrange those. But obviously it would make the game easier, so you guys determine if you want that. But there is a mod that will allow you to remove these. So that was some pretty poor planning. But over here, I actually was thinking about this. So I put it, so let's go back and let's take a look back at the commercial hub. You also get a +1 gold for every 2 adjacent district tiles. So think about that for a minute. Basically, that means 0.5. So if we look at this, if we cancel out of here, so we can automatically kind of think about this when we were first building the city. And I was thinking, okay, I'm going to leave this open for my commercial hub because I want to put some districts around that, as many districts. I'm mostly concerned with that. So if we look at that, we're going to get, here's 2 districts. Remember, the city is treated as a district. So that's going to be 0.5, 0.5. So I know that's going to be a +1 gold. Here's the entertainment district, and here's the theater district. Those are also, it's 0.5. That's going to add up to another gold. So I'm going to get 2 gold for these districts, plus I'm going to get another +2 for being on the river. That's going to be +4. Now, if we go over and we select the commercial hub, it's going to automatically, it should tell us that, yes. It's going to say, hey, you're going to get +4. It's already calculating these things for us. So it kind of does a nice job for you. It tells you that, hey, this is going to get +4. Out here, we get no bonuses. The Wonder is not treated as a district. So there you can see that's not going to give us any bonuses. Now, let's say, and I would put it here. We will before the video ends. But I'm going to say this. Now, you might look at this and say, oh, if I build another district here, like my campus, I might give this another 0.5 bonus, but no, it would stay at +4 because remember, we need another 2 districts to get us that for an extra gold. So we would have to build a district here. Do we want to wipe out our food? Maybe later we would. Early on, you need your food, but there's a lot of food bonuses that come into play in terms of policies, and later on you might not need this later on. That's what I'm saying. Maybe you would add that district, another district here, to boost to boost that gold. So that's what I wanted to show you. Now, again, though, you might want to look at you might say, okay, well, I'm going to build my campus here, but you're not going to get that bonus, but maybe somewhere else we're going to get a better bonus for that campus. Maybe there's a better return on the buck. So let's go here. Let's hit the campus. And again, this is how you can see. All right, well, we get +2 for each Great Barrier Reef tile. Well, I don't know where that is right now. But we do get +1 for every mountain, for mountain tiles. Look at that. So let's hit the campus. Well, you can see here we're getting +1 because we get these. I believe this has an adjacency district bonus as well. But if we go down here, take a look at that. If we put this here, it's adjacent to these 2 mountains. So that's boosting up to +2. So really, it's a better value proposition to put our campus here as opposed to here, because we're really not. We're getting much more. We're getting much more of a benefit. So again, this is the type of planning you want to think about. Where am I going to boost? I'm not going to boost. Now, maybe if you were boosting the gold, you might say, I don't really care about the +2 science. I want to boost my gold. Maybe if we had a district here is what I'm saying, and that did boost our commercial hub, but it's not. We know it's not going to because we don't have a second district here to get that extra gold. All right. So the other big one is the industrial zone. Big deal. Now you see there you don't get any +2, but you do get +1 for every additional mine and quarry title. So that's basically very important. So if we hit this, we can see here we're getting +2 for being near the for being near these 2 mines. And actually, I'm sorry, it's a +1. Oh, what are we getting here? Yeah, that's right. We're getting. Let's go back and look. So we're getting +1 for each additional mine site, and +1 for each additional. So basically, what's going on here? This mine, it's not 2 mines. That's where I just got confused. You can see this is confusing. I had this 0.5 in my head for the districts, but that's a golden standard right there. If you can get near to mines, you get a full +1. It's a 1-to-1 relationship. So that is definitely the place we want to put it. The reason we're getting +2 here is because we're hitting these. We're hitting this mine. You can add these up. So okay, we're getting a +1 for hitting this mine, and we've got 2 districts here that will give us, because it's adjacent to 2 districts, it'll give us a +1 production. Obviously, we have this 3rd district here, but we don't have a 4th district. Maybe we could put the science here. Now this is planning you want to think about. Maybe we could put the science here, and we know then that it would boost up to +3. But you also want to have a little bit of forward thinking. Maybe you do put it here because eventually there's neighborhoods. You could put other districts here. You could surround it with 2 more. And next thing you know, you've got +3. So, but we'd also get +3 if we added another district here. So this is the type of planning I want you to think about where you're putting these. The adjacency bonuses you're getting definitely comes into play. Now, there's one other thing I want to point out before we go. Neighborhoods. Now, neighborhoods are actually not based off. It's a district that's actually not based off of what's adjacent to it. What it is based off of is appeal. So if you go down and again you hit this lens thing and you go to appeal, again it's going to be the same thing. It's going to be a legend. It can give you a legend. Breathtaking will give you +6 housing. So if you look here, this is breathtaking. Why is that breathtaking? Because you're near a mountain. I believe that's what that is. You're near a mountain. And that's considered breathtaking. There's also stuff on the coast right here. And then you have disgusting. I love that. It goes down to disgusting. Haven't seen a lot of disgusting, but, well, you see, yeah, there's one over here. That's actually, no, that's uninviting, or is that disgusting? Yeah, I think that's uninviting. But if you get disgusting, I think it's only a +2, and it works its way up. +3, +4, +5, +6. Definitely want to try to get the breathtaking, because when you're trying to boost that housing later on, you want to try it. So again, that's something you might want to think about, though. You're not going to get neighborhoods for a while, but you may want to look at this early on and say, hey, this is where I'm going to put my neighborhood, and I want to think about this later on, or I want to keep this tile open. I don't want to put another district here. Another thing to sort of consider. Where am I going to put my neighborhood? So all these things come to the factor. Okay, that's really the big tiles I think about. There's also, if we look at, I'm actually glad I just thought of this. So if you click on your city details and you go over here to the district, we haven't actually talked about that. We've just been on this tab with the citizens and the housing and the amenities. But if you go over here and hit this, it's going to tell you the bonuses you're getting. So here, and you can actually click on these again and see. So theater, we get +1 culture. It's the same thing for every 2 district tiles. That's kind of the common one. But we also get one if we're near a wonder tile. And that's where that +1, by the way, is coming from. It's next to a wonder tile. And, excuse me. So when we build this entertainment complex here, we would see some of these. It'll tell you the adjacency bonuses that you're getting. Same thing with if we build out the industrial complex. You'll be able to see the adjacency bonus. So this gives you the breakdown, and it's good to sort of see that. So that's the view that you can look at. Okay, again, thank you for watching.